We're Emily and Matt, and if you're new to our channel, we do a lot of camping throughout the United States and occasionally hop on a plane to explore new countries. We're so excited to be spending a week in Ireland and sharing all of our travel adventures and tips with you. We're spending a few days in Dublin, and then we'll be renting a car and hitting the road to explore the southwest of Ireland. The Dublin airport is about 10 kilometers north of the city centre, and although there isn't a train service to the airport, there are plenty of taxis and buses to get you where you need to go. For our first few nights in Dublin, we stayed at the Temple Bar Inn, which, as the name suggests, is in the Temple Bar neighbourhood. Located on the south bank of the River Liffey, Temple Bar often leads the list of top attractions in Dublin and is filled with cobblestone streets, many restaurants, cafes, pubs, and hotels, and is one of the best places to hear live Irish folk music. If you plan to stay here, just know it can get a little loud at night. You'll definitely want to keep your windows closed.
Let's see, first night, we just got in today. We've been up over 24 hours, but we're gonna try to make it happen. We just feel like we can't waste a moment right now. We are exhausted.
We're trying to get like a fourth wind right now.
We laid down for a moment and Em woke herself up with a honk shoe.
Might have been a snore in there.
And that woke me up. And now we're up, so we're going to go have some whiskey.
It's like 5:30. We can't go to bed right now. And sleep for 12 hours. Just no.
Hour 27. Let's do it.
And we're here. Let's go.
We set off to do some exploring around the Temple Bar area before stopping at a pub for our first of many Guinness. Dublin is a very walkable city, and the River Liffey runs through the center of town with many connecting bridges. We made our way to Halfpenny Bridge, perhaps the most iconic bridge in Dublin. This pedestrian bridge was built in 1816 and is officially named the Liffey Bridge. Halfpenny, or half penny, refers to the toll amount that was originally charged to cross the bridge. We continued exploring and found Dublin Castle. We decided to come back another day to do a full tour, which we'll share later in the video. The Brazen Head, with acclaim as Ireland's oldest pub, was recommended to us by a local, so of course we had to check it out. Watch out for low doorways.
Well, that's a pretty neat bar. Oldest in all of Ireland, like 1198, something like that. On to the next.
We made our way back to Temple Bar to end our night at a lively pub. All of the local pubs we visited had great live music in the evenings, which made for some incredible atmosphere.
It's good.
On our list of food to try while in Ireland was, of course, a traditional Irish breakfast. You can find this on the menu pretty much anywhere, and it's delicious. Although I have to admit, I do prefer the blood sausage in Scotland. After breakfast, we made our way to St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is the largest cathedral in Ireland and is definitely worth a visit. There has probably been a church here since the 11th century, constructed on the site of an ancient well supposedly used by St. Patrick himself. The present cathedral building dates from 1220 to 1259.
Not far away in the heart of the city center is Christ Church Cathedral, which was originally a Viking church and is another of Ireland's historic places. While we didn't go inside, it's worth putting on your list.
We stopped for some lunch and a pint before heading on to the tour we had booked for the evening.
A trip to Dublin wouldn't be complete without visiting the Guinness Storehouse. The Guinness Storehouse experience is a self-guided tour and includes a tasting fresh from the source and a free pint at their Gravity Bar with amazing views of the city. You can also add on extras like learning to pour a perfect pint of Guinness or the Stouty experience. Definitely book your tickets online in advance and be prepared for crowds. Each floor throughout the tour provides something new. It starts with everything you'd want to know about how Guinness is made. Then you move up to the tasting room.
Nutty. So the specific flavors we're looking for here are a very subtle sweetness on the tip here.
Then up for the Stouty experience or pouring the perfect pint. We chose to include the Stouty, which is a Guinness with your picture on it.
Are you ready to drink your face off?
Yep. Oh, I don't want to ruin it.
Up another floor to explore Guinness advertising through the years, and then finally you end up at the Gravity Bar. We got very lucky with the weather and were able to enjoy 360-degree views of Dublin from the Gravity Bar at the end of our tour. This might just be the best view in the city. Been a fun day, first full day here in Dublin. We just got done with the Guinness Storehouse tour.
It's super fun. It's, like an hour and a half. You can kind of choose your own adventure in there. Ended up at the Gravity Bar, which is basically the best view of Dublin. We got so lucky. It's just a sunny, beautiful day, so we could see everything. It was amazing.
Yeah, we got really lucky with the weather so far, but man, there's a lot of people in there.
Be prepared for crowds.
But hey, Guinness from the source.
We're making our way to dinner, and then we'll just see where the night takes us. We'll probably end up at Temple Bar. We haven't been there yet. We've walked by it about 5,000 times, but we must go in at some point.
We finished the night with a stop at the famous Temple Bar. It's definitely a pretty crowded tourist trap, especially in the evenings, with expensive drinks, but it's something you just have to experience when in Dublin. All of the pubs in this area have live music, so you really can't go wrong wherever you end up. They do also serve food. However, the restaurants are usually on the second floor, so go up if you're looking for a meal. A top tourist destination in the heart of Dublin is Trinity College, but more specifically, the Book of Kells and the Old Library, or Long Room, within the college. Entering the college grounds is free, but you will need to book tickets to see the Book of Kells and the Long Room, and we recommend booking your tickets in advance online. Tours run every 30 minutes. The Book of Kells is a masterpiece of medieval art. It's a superbly decorated, handwritten copy of the story of the life of Jesus Christ set out in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It was written in Latin on vellum, or calfskin, close to the year 800 AD. The book was sent to Dublin around 1653 from the monastery in Kells, County Meath. Before you actually see the book, there is an extensive exhibition where you learn about its history, symbolism, and artistry. Moving through the exhibition, you enter the room where the book is on display and cameras are not allowed.
After leaving the Book of Kells, you enter the Long Room, which is the main chamber of the old library. At nearly 65 meters in length, it's normally filled with 200,000 of the library's oldest books and is one of the most impressive libraries in the world. It was constructed between 1712 and 1732, with the barrel-vaulted ceiling and upper gallery bookcases added in 1801. While we were there in October of 2023, the old library redevelopment project was going on and almost all the books had been removed for restoration. Books were left on a few bookcases and we could only imagine what the room would look like full of books. However, this was probably a once-in-a-lifetime sight to see as well. A couple of blocks away from Trinity College is the Molly Malone statue. Molly Malone was a semi-historical, semi-legendary figure who was commemorated in the song Cockles and Mussels, a Dublin anthem.
So I think you're supposed to touch your boob or something like that for luck.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. We had about an hour to kill before our tour of the Dublin Castle, so we decided to pop into a pub while we waited.
Dublin Castle was originally developed as a medieval fortress and constructed on elevated ground once occupied by an earlier Viking settlement. From 1204 until 1922, Dublin Castle was the seat of British rule in Ireland. During that time, it served principally as a residence for the British monarch's Irish representative, the Viceroy of Ireland, and as a ceremonial and administrative center. Following a fire in 1684 which caused severe damage, the castle was transformed into a Georgian palace. The new building included a suite of grand reception rooms known as the State Apartments. In 1922, following Ireland's independence, Dublin Castle was handed over to Michael Collins and the new Irish government. Today, it still functions as a government complex. You can buy tickets for a self-guided tour and visit just the State Apartments, or go with a guided tour which includes the State Apartments as well as the medieval section and Chapel Royale, which is what we did. Below the castle, excavations have uncovered parts of the medieval castle structure alongside the remains of some of Viking Dublin's original defenses, which take the form of a stone-covered embankment, a section of which has been preserved within the massive circular walls of the 13th century Powder Tower.
You can see a section of the castle's medieval curtain wall with a postern gate and a set of steps that led down to the original moat. The River Poddle, which still flows under the castle grounds today, would have been diverted in order to create a moat that surrounded the castle. There's been a chapel at Dublin Castle since at least 1242. The present Gothic Revival Chapel was opened on Christmas Day, 1814. It became known as the Chapel Royal after King George IV attempted service in 1821. The galleries and stained glass windows are ornamented with coats of arms representing many of Ireland's viceroys. The palatial state apartments accommodated the viceroy and were the focus of great state occasions. Today, the apartments are the venue of Ireland's presidential inaugurations and prestigious functions.
It's time to go to church. Dinner.
We went to the church for dinner, and as the name implies, this restaurant was once a church. The atmosphere is great with live music and traditional Irish dancing. The food, however, is a little pricey and nothing special, so we recommend you stop in for a drink and enjoy the entertainment, then hit up a local pub for dinner.
Lunch.
The second half of our time in Dublin, we stayed at a different hotel to experience another area within Dublin's city centre. This Hilton property is on the north side of the River Liffey, has a complimentary breakfast buffet and spacious rooms. We appreciated how quiet the neighborhood was compared to our stay in Temple Bar. We spent this day exploring other areas in the city centre we hadn't yet visited, walking further along the River Liffey and crossing the Samuel Beckett Bridge.
St. Stephen's Green is a historical park and garden located in the centre of Dublin. The main entrance is through the Fusiliers Arch at the top of Grafton Street. It's a great place to relax and escape from the hustle and bustle of the city.
Coffee is so much better in Ireland. Something they put in it, I don't know what it is.
We hopped in a cab to take us to the Teeling Whiskey Distillery, which was just a little farther than we wanted to walk. We chose Teeling over the Jameson Distillery in Dublin because we have a tour booked at the Jameson Distillery in Middleton, which you'll see later in this video.
The Teeling Whiskey Distillery opened its doors in 2015 as the first new distillery in Dublin in over 125 years. They have a variety of guided tours and whiskey tastings you can book or simply stop in for a tasting at the Bang Bang Bar, which is what we did.
How does that rank with the other Irish coffees we had on this trip?
This is number one. Number two is the Temple Bar area. I'm ruined. I'm going to be drunk all day, every day now. That was an awesome stop at Teeling. I've been converted. Love the single grain. Em loves the single malt. But our favorite part was the Dublin coffee,
Their
or Irish coffee.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of variations, but we asked about what they actually put in them, and there's a lot to them.
Everybody does it a little bit differently.
Yeah, but they have a stout syrup that they make in-house that is amazing. You won't see it in their shop, but if you ask for it, they do sell it. It is good. We're excited to take that home, make some proper Irish coffees. We saw in the news yesterday was the warmest day in 50 years since
In this time of year.
in October, warmest October day since like 1969. But luck of the Irish is on our side. Let's go get a Guinness.
Okay.
On our last night in Dublin, we had some delicious food at a local pub and enjoyed the live music.
We're getting ready to do a road trip. We just got our car and we're heading to Cork.
We're headed out to Cork, 4-day, gonna hit Jameson Distillery,
Blarney Castle,
Blarney Castle,
Blarney Stone,
Blarney Stone,
and whatever else we can find along the way. Okay, let's get on the road. Road trip.
Yars.
Like a glove. Driver's side is not over there.
Yeah. Oh, that's tight. Didn't know we rented a golf cart.
We got about 3.5 hours now, so let's go.
To start our road trip, we rented a car in Dublin, which was a pretty easy process and fairly inexpensive. We usually use Turo when renting a car abroad, but Turo wasn't available in Ireland when we were there. If you're planning a road trip, be sure to get a hybrid vehicle to save on gas, and we also recommend getting an automatic transmission and purchasing the insurance offered. It just makes life easier.
Also, keep the size of your suitcases in mind when choosing your vehicle. We were able to squeeze our suitcases into the trunk, but just barely. We're finally getting out of the city though. It actually isn't too stressful driving through Dublin. It is just slow as. There's a stoplight every block.
And they let like 4 cars through every light.
So fast. So yeah, if you're coming over here and you're only going to be in Dublin, you do not need a car. It's an amazing city. Everything is so walkable. Is this bus?
I don't think so.
Driving on the left-hand side of the road will take some getting used to. Just take your time and go slow, especially in roundabouts. These are probably the most challenging part of driving in Ireland, and remember to look right. Chances are you'll encounter some narrow hedgerow lanes. These are very tight and also take some getting used to, but again, just take your time.
About 2 hours away from Dublin is the Rock of Cashel. We found this on the map and thought it would be worth a stop on our way to Cork. Set on a dramatic outcrop of limestone, the Rock of Cashel was the traditional seat of the kings of Munster for several hundred years prior to the Norman invasion. The rock is comprised of an impressive cluster of medieval buildings which include a Romanesque chapel, a Gothic cathedral, a round tower, and an abbey. Most of the buildings on the current site date from the 12th and 13th centuries when the rock was gifted to the church. The grounds around the buildings are also home to an extensive graveyard which includes a number of high crosses.
that was worth the stop. That was really cool.
Unexpected stop. I just, looking at our route each day, just pointing out things or finding things that we didn't know about or hadn't heard about. So that was an easy stop.
Yeah.
We continued on our journey to Blarney Castle, about 15 minutes outside of Cork.
One of the most famous castles in Ireland, Blarney Castle, was built nearly 600 years ago by one of Ireland's greatest chieftains, Cormac McCarthy. Blarney Castle is a tower house, a type of fortification built by Gaelic lords between the 15th and 17th centuries. Tower houses are typically 4 or 5 stories tall with 1 or 2 main chambers plus several ancillary chambers on each floor. As we made our way to the castle, we were greeted with the sound of bagpipes.
Well, we've made it. It's Blarney Castle. Second stop for the day.
Yes.
It's raining. Not too bad. Not very many crowds, so that's nice. Although we haven't actually gotten inside the castle yet. That's where we're headed now.
Got some hiking to do.
Yeah. We're in line. It's probably going to be maybe 15 minutes.
Of course, you can't visit Blarney Castle without kissing the Blarney Stone, which is said to give you the gift of eloquence or gift of the gab. To kiss the stone, you make your way through the castle and up a tight circular staircase to the battlements at the very top, where you can enjoy the beautiful views of the surrounding countryside as you wait your turn. Holy smokes. Wow.
We just made it out of the tiniest little spiral staircase to get up
Oh my god, that's crazy.
to the top of the castle. If you are claustrophobic, that might not be for you.
I had to take the backpack off just to get up the top.
But what of you?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Wow.
Still a little more to go. Gotta go around up there. That's the kitchen. So that's where we just came out from the spiral staircase. We're almost there.
Top of the world here.
I'm pretty sure I'm not afraid of heights. I guess we'll find out when I have to lay upside down on top of the castle.
It doesn't look too bad.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. There are a whole host of theories, stories, myths surrounding the origins of the Blarney Stone. It's even been said that it's a piece of Scotland's Stone of Destiny, which was used in the inauguration of Scottish kings for centuries. While you wait your turn atop the castle, you can read about each of the legends of the stone. The actual kiss is a little precarious. You lean backwards, hanging over the edge of the castle while holding onto handrails and assisted by a guide. And don't worry, we did see cleaning products with the staff, so we're fairly sure it gets clean.
I look like a drowned rat.
You look beautiful.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth the wait. Line wasn't that bad, 30 minutes.
Okay, don't touch anything.
Poison. Ah, back down below the castle. How was your Blarney experience?
Fast. They're moving people through that.
Yeah, they whip you through. One smooch and you're out.
You don't even know what you're looking at, and you just kiss something and you hope it's the right thing.
Great experience. By the time we left, the line was out the castle.
Yeah, it was
so
kind of almost to that hour, past the 30-minute mark.
you may be waiting an hour.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I think it's pretty dang cool. And actually,
That's
once you're in the castle, it's like 30 minutes, and you get to just touch and smell and see.
The route that you kind of wait in line to get up to the top, it takes you through the castle, so it's kind of you're getting a tour along the way anyway.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, kind of the way to see the castle. You kind of have to go that way.
Yeah.
If you don't like small spaces, you're not really good with stairs. There's
tops.
a really, really tight spiral staircase you have to go up, so something to consider.
Hey, there's some caves.
All right.
Let's check it out. Well, just saw the cave too. That was pretty neat, pretty short, but yeah, great experience overall. Now we're getting serenaded with some bagpipe at the end. This is just splendid. We're with a knick-knack, paddywhack, do your dog a bone. Oh God, I love Ireland. But we're on our way back to the car. It's dumping rain. We are gonna hop back in and head to
Middleton.
for some
Jameson! I'm going to the Jameson Distillery.
where it all started.
Yeah, this one's different than the one in Dublin. The one in Dublin is, I think, just more like a museum and you can do tastings, but this is where they're actually making the Jameson. So we're going to the actual distillery and yeah.
And I'm probably not gonna be tasting because I'm gonna be driving, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We can have a long lunch after. Maybe I'll have a couple sips, but
Yeah, because then we have to drive back to Cork for our Airbnb. So we're just kind of playing that by ear. But I think if we can hang out there long enough and have some dinner, let the alcohol wear off, and then we'll head back. So we're just trying to be really, really safe about that.
Oh yeah.
Let's get in the car and get
Let's do
dry.
it. Driving update. I only drove in the wrong lane once for 10 feet. Only missed one turn and only hit one curb, so we're doing pretty good.
And it's our first day.
Oh, which way are we going here? Straight, I hope. We opted to pass on the Jameson Distillery experience in Dublin, which is a former factory, and visit the Middleton Distillery to see where some of our favorite whiskeys are made. The whiskeys that call Middleton home, aside from Jameson, include Redbreast, the Spot Whiskies, Method and Madness, Powers, Middleton Very Rare, and Napogue Castle. There are a couple different tour options to choose from, and we went with the Distillery Experience Tour. Video isn't allowed on the tour, so we're sharing some of our photos. It's a 75-minute guided tour through the original distillery and key buildings, including the warehouses, micro distillery, the world's largest pot still, and the tour finishes with a whiskey tasting. If you have any interest in whiskey or just want to experience a little bit different Irish history through a company that has been at it for over 2.5 centuries, we highly recommend this stop. They have an excellent website, which is a great place to start. We also learned that the bar, restaurant, and gift shop area is a new addition and opened just a few days before our visit. The Whiskey Vault is also a new addition, and we couldn't believe the price tags on some of these bottles. The Middleton Very Rare Silent Distillery Collection is a collection of 6 releases released annually starting in 2020 with 2 more to come. Aged from 45 to 50 years, this covers the high end with bottles ranging from $45,000 and as high as $70,000 online. Someday, I guess.
Everybody, hold on to your butts. Yeah, we made it. Yep. If it isn't, that's the way we're going.
For our one night in Cork, we stayed at a very nice Airbnb in the heart of the city center. This 1-bedroom flat is above a pub and has a spacious living, dining, and kitchen area. It also has a big bathroom and washer and dryer. We'll leave a link to the property in the description below.
Fluffing the pillows. Yeah, this is very nice.
It was nice.
After checking in, we dropped our bags and set out to explore St. Patrick's Street, which is the main street in the heart of the city with many shops, restaurants, and pubs.
On the road again.
There we go. Quick but sweet and Cork.
Play a little luggage Tetris. Hi everybody, good morning from Cork. We are heading out. We had an amazing stay here, just the one night. Now we're making our way for the second part of our road trip. We're going to Killarney for a couple of nights and we're gonna drive the Ring of Kerry.
Yeah, quick night here, but it's like a fun little town and everything's really close, just like almost said Berlin, just like Dublin, but smaller. And
yeah, there's a river kind of running right through the middle of town and separates out the neighborhoods there. But yeah, it was fun.
Our plan was to see sights around the Ring of Kerry over 2 days. The first day we would visit Killarney National Park, and on the second we would drive the full ring. Leaving Cork, our destination of Killarney National Park was about an hour-and-a-half drive, and we took a mix of motorway and back roads to take in more of the Irish countryside.
Southwest of the town of Killarney is Killarney National Park, which includes a section of the Ring of Kerry and a few top attractions. This expanse of rugged, mountainous country is home to the highest mountain range in Ireland and the lakes of Killarney. The park is free to enter and offers a wide variety of activities and spectacular scenery in every direction, including a number of heritage sites. Some of the most well-known are Muckross House and Muckross Abbey, Killarney House, and Ross Castle. We chose to visit Muckross House and Ross Castle.
We are right now in Killarney National Park with Muckross House right behind us. We have 2 nights here in Killarney and we're gonna be doing the Ring of Kerry. So much to see, we're so excited. Matt's already kind of gotten a little practice driving on the teeny tiny roads with our teeny tiny rental car.
Only hopped in the wrong lane once today so far, so
we almost died only once today. No, he's been doing a great job. So we'll take you with us around Killarney National Park. There's a few stops we're gonna make today, and then we're gonna do the big push to drive around the ring tomorrow. But we're trying to break it up over 2 days just so we have time to see everything. So here we go.
Muckross House and Gardens is one of the top tourist attractions in Ireland. This Victorian mansion was completed in 1843 for Henry Arthur Herbert and his Scottish wife Mary Balfour. In 1911, Muckross was purchased by a wealthy American, William Bowers Bourne, and presented to his daughter Maud as a wedding present. Upon Maud's death in 1929, her husband and parents gave the house and estate to Ireland. There's no fee to access the Muckross House grounds. You can pay for a guided or self-guided tour of the house, which we definitely recommend doing. You have access to much of the house, including the dining room, library, billiard room, various bedrooms, and the basement with the kitchens and servants' dining hall. We just finished up with Muckross House. Really cool spot. Pretty neat tour as well. Very cheap.
Yeah, go inside. It's like €7.
Yeah, but just beautiful grounds, beautiful area. And now we are headed off to Ross Castle.
Yes, still within Killarney National Park.
Enjoying this park so far.
It's gorgeous, and it's not raining on us. A little windy, but it's beautiful. So green.
Yeah, the trees. I just can't. I mean,
you're speechless. Apparently,
stuff's green back home in Washington State in the U.S., but the green is like uncompared here.
Yeah. And we're here in the off season, we should say, or maybe just the beginning of the off season. It's October. It's like the first part of October while we're here, so not a lot of crowds. Okay.
Well, let's hop in the car. Let's do it.
Let's ride.
Ross Castle perches on an inlet known as Ross Island on the edge of Loch Lean. It was built by the Irish chieftain O'Donoghue More in the early 1400s and is an example of a tower house and keep introduced to Ireland by the Normans. Ross Castle is known for being the last stronghold in Ireland against Cromwell's Roundheads during the 11 Years' War, and in 1652 the 5,000 soldiers there surrendered. It's free to explore the grounds of the castle, and you can book guided tours inside the castle throughout the day. The castle was restored in 1970 and contains examples of 16th and 17th century furniture. You can also book a boat tour of the lake and rent rowboats right near the castle. We chose to skip the castle tour and made our way to the Gap of Dunloe.
Our final stop of the day was to visit the Gap of Dunloe, which is situated between the McGillicuddy Reeks and Purple Mountain. The most popular starting point to visit the Gap is Kate Kearney's cottage, about a 15-minute drive from Killarney. There are several ways to explore the Gap of Dunloe: by foot, by bicycle, or by renting a jaunting car. You can technically drive the Gap of Dunloe as it is a public road, but the road is very narrow and will be packed with jaunting cars, walkers, and cyclists, especially during the summer months. When we arrived, we were told by the locals that we couldn't drive our car, and so we decided to walk.
As you can probably tell by the footage, it was incredibly windy, but well worth it. It was crazy to see how fast the clouds were whipping through the gap and over the mountains. We walked as far as the Wishing Bridge at Black Lake, which took us about 20 minutes each way and is a beautiful walk with small hills.
It's absolutely gorgeous up here. It's so windy. it reminds me of the Scottish Highlands. And there's still a little bit of green on the hills, but the grasses are starting to turn. Oh, there's a little wind block behind this rock right here.
Oh my gosh.
Do I have snot on my face?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we just got settled in, heading into downtown. This looks like it's going to be a really fun town.
We have the cutest Airbnb. We'll put all the links below and give you guys a quick tour later. It's like a minute walk into this downtown area of Killarney.
Yeah, this is
We're so
amazing.
excited.
Killarney is such a quaint town and a great home base to explore everything County Kerry has to offer, and we were glad to be able to spend 2 nights there. The main street in the center of town is full of colorful buildings and many shops, restaurants, and pubs. We found a beautiful 2-bedroom Airbnb just a 3-minute walk to the center of town. It has a large kitchen and dining area, plenty of seating in the living room, and a great outdoor patio. Conveniently, there's also a parking lot right across the street where we parked for 24 hours for €3, if you can believe it. We'll leave a link to the listing in the description below if you're interested.
All right.
Good morning from Killarney.
Yeah. We're getting ready to head out and hit the Ring of Kerry.
And I think the first stop is going to be Torque Waterfall.
Yep.
And then we'll go on through to Kenmare and see the Stone Circle. And then keep going along the ring, along the coast.
Yeah, and we are getting lucky on the weather. Right now it's just slightly cloudy. It's supposed to be like an Indian summer weekend here. Highs in
Like
the lower
70s today, maybe? Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
All the locals we talked to yesterday were like, the weather's going to be amazing for you tomorroh.
Yeah,
We're excited.
the average temperature in October, the high I think is like 58 Fahrenheit. So this is unusual. We're pretty excited. Feeling pretty lucky. Got the luck of the Irish today.
All right, we got to stop. We got to get our navigation going and keep it in the left lane. And we'll pick you guys back up when we're at the waterfall.
The Ring of Kerry is part of the Wild Atlantic Way, which covers over 1,600 miles along the west coast of Ireland. Driving the Ring of Kerry took us about 8.5 hours start to finish, and we were glad to have visited Killarney National Park and the Gap of Dunloe the day before, which left us more time to make stops along the ring to explore. If you have the time, we definitely recommend breaking this up into 2 days. We also drove clockwise, which we've heard is the opposite direction tour buses take, so you're less likely to be stuck driving behind a bus or the crowds they bring at each stop. The main ring, and especially any side roads, can be very narrow with little to no shoulder. If you're renting a car, it's best to just get the insurance offered so you won't have to worry about any accidental scratches as you navigate tighter roads. We soon discovered that the section of the ring from Torque Waterfall to Mall's Gap was closed for a bike race, so we took a quick detour to Kenmare instead.
The Kenmare Stone Circle is one of the largest stone circles in southwest Ireland and is made up of 15 heavy boulders. Stone circles were built during the Bronze Age, between 2200 and 500 BC, and believed to be for ritual and ceremonial purposes. They were often oriented with certain solar and lunar events, such as the position of the sun on the horizon on the solstice. Also, if you stop by, don't forget to leave a prayer or a gift on the hawthorn fairy tree.
We have made it to Kenmare. We had a slight little hiccup. They closed a section of the road on the ring leading to the Torque Waterfall and Ladies Viewpoint and Mall's Gap because there's some sort of a bike race going on today. Not on the whole ring, but just sort of that particular section. So we did a little bit of a detour to get to Kenmare, which this was a stop anyway, to see the Stone Circle.
And there's no one here. We have this place to ourselves. This is so cool. And it looks like you can camp in the parking lot here. There's some campers, so if you're doing a road trip, you can camp here. I'm in a stone circle right now. This is crazy.
We found Cromwell's Bridge on the map while in Kenmare and decided to check it out. This picturesque bridge is free to access and was built in the 17th century.
All right, back on the road. Quick stop in Kenmare to see a few sights. It looks like a really cozy, fun little town. If you're needing a place to stay down here, I think we would recommend that. There's lots of little hotels right in the city.
Yeah.
And there's a couple little cute bed and breakfasts right by the Cromwell Bridge. And man, with the sound of the water, the birds chirping in the morning, the ambience was perfect right there.
Yeah, Kenmare seems like a little bit smaller version of Killarney. Super quaint, really cute, kind of downtown Main Street area. So definitely worth a stop to check out.
Yep.
Since we had our slight detour in the morning, leaving Kenmare and heading west, we were now driving on the Ring of Kerry. On this part of the ring, you're driving along the coast of Kenmare Bay, which really doesn't have anywhere to pull over, so just enjoy the ride and take in the view. To let you know when a pullout area is coming up, you'll see a brown sign with a semicircle a little before the pull-off.
What's up, buddy? Just chilling? All right.
We've almost got it to ourselves. One other car. We'll go check it out. Our first stop along the ring was Stague Stone Fort, which is only a mile or so off of the ring, but well worth the short drive. It's one of the largest ring forts in Ireland and stands on a low hill with an amazing view of Kenmare Bay.
The fort consists of a massive circular rampart with a wall up to 18 feet high and 13 feet thick. There are 10 flights of steps built in an X shape along the circular internal wall, giving you access to the top of the rampart, which is pretty cool to walk along. The fort is thought to have been built during the late Iron Age, probably somewhere between 300 and 400 AD, as a defensive stronghold for a local lord or king. Seeing both the stone circle and a stone fort on the same day was just incredible.
Derrynane Beach was an unplanned stop where we just saw a sign and decided to turn off and explore. It's a beautiful and extensive sandy beach in Derrynane Bay and is next to Derrynane House, which you can tour as well, although we did not.
That was a fun stop.
Yeah. Beautiful spot here.
Worth the trip though. Hey, take your shoes off, put your feet in the water. It's really cold, but it's fun. All right, next up, I think we're finally getting to the Kerry Cliffs. Next stop, but we just keep stopping.
So many things to see here, so many surprises.
Ow, that was a rock. Oh,
Put
okay.
your shoes on, silly.
We were probably most excited to see the Kerry Cliffs on this road trip, and they were spectacular. To reach the cliffs, you turn off of the Ring of Kerry and drive for about 15 minutes due west. The fishing village of Portmagee is on the way and worth a stop as well. The cliffs stand over 1,000 feet above the Atlantic, and out to the west are the Skellig Rocks, one of only 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Ireland. One in particular, Skellig Michael, might look familiar to those Star Wars fans out there.
Oh my God. I don't even think we've hit the wind yet. We can hear it whipping through the fence up here. It's about to get real.
It was incredibly windy at the cliffs, so be sure to hold on to your phones tightly. You can also camp at the cliffs. More on that in a bit.
Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's actually, so you go to that main part with the Kerry Cliffs, and then there's a road that we're taking now that takes you up the actual cliffs. So we're gonna go check that out. And we noticed you can camp there. So there's a camping area kind of down by the parking lot, but as we were walking up the cliffs, there's a sign about camping and just kind of inquire at reception. So we asked the guy on our way back down, like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's crazy. You can camp up top, on top of the cliff. It is protected.
Yeah.
And it was super windy today, but there was no wind right where you'd park or
I think
even
you can
set up a
tent camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to not be on the right side of the road. Yeah. there
It's
you go.
only June, July, August, and it's €20, which seems like a pretty crazy deal. It's
Yeah.
cheaper than most campgrounds in the U.S.
Yeah. So if you're, taking a van or a caravan, whatever they call them over here, doing a road trip, you might want to think about camping up there in the summer. You probably would have to make a reservation pretty far in advance during those months, I would guess, or maybe you can't make a reservation. I don't know, making that up. But hey, cool camp spot.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going up this road.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the cliffs were pretty cool, too.
Yeah, they weren't so bad. Hi. What you doing? See ya.
Portmagee is a small, picturesque fishing village of brightly painted houses. The area was once a haven for smugglers and pirates who preyed on the trade ships from Europe and North America, and the village is named after one of the most notorious smugglers of the 18th century, Captain Theobald McGee.
We decided to stop here for lunch before heading back to the Ring Drive.
I cannot believe this. The seafood is amazing. This plate is 30 euros, which I don't know if that's a lot in some places, but in the US, I feel like this dish would probably cost well over $50, $60. Yeah, I'm in heaven right now. Seafood heaven.
We are done with the road trip. We're back at the Airbnb. That was about 4.5 hours on the road today. Obviously lots of stops, lots of sightseeing, some hiking at the cliffs, lots of walking.
It's a beautiful day. Some wind off and on, but super warm.
Yeah.
And amazing views, amazing country.
Definitely recommend you do that. Tour bus or rent a car, whatever the case may be, but everybody should see that. It was a gorgeous area.
And rent a car. Scotland and Ireland have it down. Their roads are so much fun to drive. It's a little nerve-wracking at times.
Yeah.
The buses coming on the other way are huge, and you just have to make room. But no, it's been a blast. So excited to finish up the rest of the road trip tomorrow.
We're gonna take a bit of a break and then go back into Killarney. There is a Ireland versus Scotland rugby match, like the Rugby World Cup. That's tonight. It's a Saturday night. The locals were talking about it. It's gonna be bananas.
We are on our last day of the road trip, getting ready to head out to the Cliffs of Moher. And first though, we're gonna hit a couple spots we missed yesterday due to a road closure. So we're gonna hit Malls Gap, Ladies View, and then head straight north.
A 66-foot-high Torque waterfall is a popular attraction along the Ring of Kerry. During peak season, the small parking area is often full and you'll share the waterfall with hundreds of others. We were there at the start of the off-season and had it all to ourselves. The walk to the waterfall is short and flat under a beautiful canopy of trees. Ladies Viewpoint is a popular stop on the Ring of Kerry and is one of the best-known viewpoints in Killarney National Park. Ladies View got its name after a memorable visit from Queen Victoria in 1861. It's said that the Queen's ladies-in-waiting were so taken with the view that it was named after them.
Malls Gap, which is a mountain pass through Killarney National Park, is another popular stop and offers views of Upper Lake, Black Valley, and the McGillicuddy's Reeks Mountains.
Well, we came up here to see Malls Gap. We were driving through the clouds basically the whole time. We are up pretty high. I don't know what elevation we're at right now. But as you can see behind me, we're not going to see anything because we're up in the clouds. So we'll have to maybe put a picture in here what this looks like. Anyway, this is a wrap for this section of Kerry. These were the last couple of things that we couldn't see because of the road closure yesterday. So now we're gonna hit the road and make our way to the Cliffs of Moher. So we'll pick you up when we get to the cliffs.
It was about a 3-hour drive north from Malls Gap to the Cliffs of Moher. And as we've done frequently throughout this road trip, we took a mix of back roads and motorway. All right, made it to the Cliffs of Moher. It's already a totally different experience. 4 or 5 times the amount of people here. Parking lots loaded, buses everywhere.
It's twice as expensive to get in. It's 12 euros a person. It was €5 at Kerry Cliffs. Are the views worth it?
Yeah.
We'll soon find out.
The Cliffs of Moher along Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way are probably the most famous cliffs in Ireland and are a popular day trip from Dublin. They stretch for 5 miles as the crow flies and stand over 700 feet at their highest point. They're home to major colonies of nesting seabirds and are one of Ireland's most important bird breeding sites. Fans of the movie The Princess Bride may recognize them as the Cliffs of Insanity. The cliffs were spectacular, with amazing views in every direction. And we were extremely lucky with the weather as it was sunny with no wind. We can't quite decide if we like these or the Kerry Cliffs better.
Every time we watch a video on Cliffs of Moher, people are getting blown around. You're scared to fly off the cliff. It's cold. It is a shorts.
Or raining.
Yeah, it's a shorts and t-shirt day out here. It's got to be mid-70s.
And like
There's
zero
no
wind.
I can't believe how lucky we got.
Yeah. It's cool. You can kind of see in certain places where the grass, it looks like carpet almost, where the wind is just over time. It just lays that way now because of the way the wind's blown it. You can walk all along these cliffs kind of in different directions. If you feel up to it, it's a long walk.
Yeah, there's actually a 20-kilometer trail, which if we were here for a full day, I would totally do. That would be amazing.
Just kidding. It's not live.
Horrible acting. But don't test our theory when you're here. Because
I don't recommend it. We just saw other people running into it, so we figured it's not live. It's interesting, all up until you get to right up to the cliffs is private property. And so there's cows and sheep and everything just grazing all around. And then you've got tour buses and a parking lot and the cliffs. So I'm not sure if the cliffs themselves are maybe private property too. The Kerry Cliffs were private and you just pay the entrance fee. They're not like a national park or anything like you might find in the States. Like something like this would probably be a national park.
Leaving the cliffs, we drove north through the town of Dublin and noticed something in the distance that we just had to stop and see. It turned out to be Dunagour Castle, which is a round tower house and dates from the mid-16th century. This castle is privately owned, so you can't go inside, but it's still a pretty cool find.
These lanes are so tight in this part that we are right now. Oh my gosh. Or this driver's just really bad. It's probably that.
Our time in Ireland came to an end way too soon, and it was time to make our way back to Dublin to catch our flight home.
We hope you enjoyed coming along with us on this Ireland adventure. We also have videos sharing our trips to Scotland and England that we'll leave linked at the end of this video if you're interested. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our travel and camping adventures.